It's been 12 years since Lucasfilm was bought by Disney. Let's go ahead and talk about that. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it in cosplay form. Just roll with me on this one.
Get ready for the next battle.
Hello guys, my name is Vaderfly. Thank you and welcome to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get into this. I have made already 2 videos dedicated to Star Wars, basically kind of questioning the future of the franchise and criticizing the media that has decided to attack the fan base more or less. It's been 12 dreaded years since George Lucas sold his project to end quote.
I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and okay.
And it makes us wonder, has it truly been at the pinnacle of all that we had hoped for, all that we had dreamed, all that we had wanted? No, of course not. I'm dressed up as Luke Skywalker talking about something that should have been great that happened to not be. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When it was initially bought by Disney, I was actually kind of excited. I was excited because I was thinking, well, they did something great for Marvel, so why not Lucasfilm? Needless to say, after learning more information about Marvel and how they already had this plan established before they were bought by Disney, it kind of made me regret my decision. From the blatant attack of the fandom to calling anybody that doesn't like a certain character racist or sexist, it made people slowly but surely walk away from the product. And now with the 12th anniversary of it being sold to Disney, a lot of people are wondering, can it really be saved, or is it even worth being saved? After the declining, just awful, abysmal returns from each one of the projects that have come out from The Force Awakens all the way up to now, The Acolyte, soon to be The Skeleton Crew, it seems like it's not even worth it to try to save this franchise. I've said this before and I'll say this again. Star Wars is a celebration. It is a celebration when you get to see just like an anniversary, like a birthday, and you just get all people from all walks of life coming together to watch a movie and have a fun time. But ever since Disney's bought it, they've run it out like a McDonald's. Instead of a celebration, an anniversary, a birthday cake, you get like a quarter pounder with E. coli. Was that too soon? I don't think that was too soon. Was that it too soon? I think, okay, bad joke. On to the next topic. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I gave it a chance. Like The Force Awakens, while yes, it was very reminiscent of A New Hope, I was in a way, no pun intended, hoping that it was going to be something amazing. Needless to say, right after The Force Awakens and Rogue One, which I still do like, and yes, I know, it's just a ripoff of Kyle-Katarn's story. I know that, but hey, they at least did it some justice, okay? Would I love to see Kyle-Katarn in the story? Of course! But they had to work with what they had, which that should have told me my first signs on how they were going to mess this whole thing up. Then, with the division of The Last Jedi basically causing such a split in the fandom that it is still felt to this day, Star Wars has never really been the same. After the most recent controversy with a bunch of Star Wars YouTubers basically going at each other's throats, from all the different Star Wars sides, it really became quite apparent to me that we've kind of lost the plot and everybody's going crazy. Now, once again, don't get me wrong, the prequels had their haters too, and they still actually have their haters out there. I personally enjoyed the prequels, and I personally do still enjoy the originals as well. I also enjoyed the Genndy Tartakovsky series, the Clone Wars back then, and I still like it now. But the fandom really did show its ugly head once they started to play identity politics with certain aspects of the franchise. Kathleen Kennedy, the person that I wanted to boil down this video to, is the one that everybody puts a lot of the blame on. Does she deserve it? Probably not. Yes, no, we don't know the full extent of what exactly is going on behind closed doors, except for every single stinking problem has been between her and the directors with creative differences. There has been more projects canceled by Lucasfilm than there has been greenlit by these guys. And it has become more and more apparent that the forcing of certain beliefs in these movies have been very apparent. By using the media and certain members of the fan base, it has become very apparent that they want to try to paint the Star Wars fan base or the Star Wars community as all ist and phobes, which I'm getting really tired of. I'm one of the black fans, and I'm going to tell you, while there are some people out there like that, it isn't the majority. And the fact of the matter is, when you gave us characters like Reva, who was just an angry black woman stereotype, and you gave us two bland characters being Osha and May, I think people can criticize those characters and not worry about the skin color. Food for thought. Editing Vaderfly here, and yeah, I forgot one of the characters, and that being Finn himself. Finn himself being screwed over and not being a Jedi, and on top of it being shrunk on the poster. Yeah, that can't be blamed on the fan base that you're thinking is. That being shrunk on the poster thing, that was definitely a Eastern Asian kind of persuasion. But you know, yeah. Now back to me. Star Wars has lost its way, and I'm completely honest with you. It kind of makes me a little mad. We've lost the ideology and the purpose of what Star Wars is about, which is hope. And yet we want to try to infuse our own messages and themes into them. While Andor understood this message and in my personal opinion, has understood Star Wars the closest out of everything besides The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2, thanks to Jon Favreau. Cough. Star Wars hasn't really been fun. Now, with the upcoming release of the Skeleton Crew that will be releasing here in the next month, I personally think it's going to be alright. I know a lot of people are already crapping on it, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be an alright project. And honestly, this is something, if Lucas still was making Star Wars, I could see him making. I could see him making this with Steven Spielberg. But I can completely understand why people are so bitter. After The Acolyte and after the backlash from The Acolyte and after people like Amanda Stenberg trying to come out and own the fans, darling, that video was awful. Just take it and leave it. Leave us alone. We've come down to the point where people just don't want to be invested with Star Wars in fears of being called something that they're not. I know I'm sounding like a broken record. I've already done this video with my Acolyte video, kind of talking about how the media and the actors and the Hollywood activists want to completely discredit fans from, basically trying to give critiques of a show. Sure, there are people that do go overboard, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. There's sometimes I disagree with some of my favorite YouTubers because I feel like they did go a little overboard. But there are people that are being very valid that you're dismissing their criticism because it is quote unquote not the one you want to hear. In order for things to get better, you need to basically understand what people like. You need to understand what they desire. It's like that episode of SpongeBob when SpongeBob finally understands that he needs to be making the Krabby Patties instead of being some kind of actor, singer, comedian that failed, and then once he started making the patties, everybody became happy. That's exactly what this needs to happen with this as well. If they want to save Star Wars, I think they need to do a couple of things. First off, I think Star Wars needs to take a break. It's been pumped out since The Force Awakens, and we haven't really had time to rest from the TV shows, the side films. You can't stop getting Star Wars. And the crazy thing is, a younger me would have loved this. A younger me would have been so excited to have this much Star Wars. But an older me has seen this and realized that sometimes having ice cream every night isn't the most healthiest thing for you. 2, They need to get competent people. Tony Gilroy has been doing some great work with Andor, and I can't say enough. It really is one of my favorite shows. It's not peak by any means, but it is something that is keeping the fans invested and giving a depth to the characters, not only just for Andor, but his surrounding supporting cast as well. 3, they actually need to have somebody in charge that cares more about the creativity side than their legacy. The problem with Kathleen Kennedy has been from the jump that she wants to prove to the big boys that she can make successful material, and she lost the plot, which is being creative. Star Wars is on its best when it's the most creative. And it's crazy that a lot of people don't understand that. The most that I think a lot of people need to understand is this. Your fan base is asking you for something that is super simple. Star Wars is not an overcomplicated thing. It's fairly simple. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's why everybody was using the argument when The Last Jedi came out that was for The Last Jedi, that it's about just space wizards in space. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, it really is. It's not a hard concept, but if we try to overcomplicate it and make it a hard concept, we just lose whatever plot we had with it. The fact of the matter that you had all these YouTubers fighting each other, not only a couple of months ago, just to try to take down people's livelihoods just because they had different opinions of Star Wars, really shows you where we're at this point with this franchise. It's gotten bad and it's getting worse. I completely can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe we should have just left it as a niche thing. I think this is just becoming one of those things where a lot of people see its popularity and just want to write off the popularity of it, making channels and stuff, which there's not a problem to do. I'm not saying you don't have a right to do that, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are taking this and trying to use their, I don't know, like their clout to try to write off of somebody else's clout, try to attack other people. The fact of the matter that they attacked people like Star Wars Theory, and a person that, mind you, defended Disney Star Wars for the longest period of time, then decides to go, oh, I want it to be better, so I'm going to criticize the certain things that I don't like about it. All of a sudden, he became the enemy. It's the craziest thing to me. I think Star Wars can be saved, but it has to take a break, a long break. It has to be missed. It really does. You gotta let yourself miss the thing that once was your favorite thing. And with Kathleen Kennedy's last year here, I don't know what they're gonna do exactly, especially with the Rey movie basically being up in the air, and at this point nobody really knowing what they're going to do with this script, and just shambling over themselves, just trying to do something special with this film when all actuality there's nothing special you can do with a character that basically a majority of your fan base doesn't like. I think to all the people in Lucasfilm and the media and the people that defend Disney Star Wars, I think you need to understand that using gender, race, sexuality is not the way to try to promote your stuff. I'm not saying that's a problem not to have those things. Diversity is great. The issue is how you implement it. And what makes it worse is that if they implement it wrong, it's going to make people less desirable to see certain diverse projects. You see how simple that is? You do something wrong, it hurts the people that you're trying to protect. You do something right, it helps the people you're trying to protect. It's that simple. I think what they have to do to get the old fans and the Disney regime together is just have to have a powwow and actually talk about these things instead of trying to blame one side or the other. We have to be mindful and understand that Star Wars is a lesson in being better. It's not just good versus evil. There are life lessons that are sprinkled through Star Wars. I've said this so many times in all my Star Wars videos that it's kind of getting old at this point. George wanted to teach lessons to young children about life. And when you try to teach children that the Jedi are all bad and you try to make them out to be cops. Yeah, I don't vibe with that. No cap. Ooh, I am never using that language again. That was bad. That was really bad. I am old. In conclusion, I don't know what else they can really do. It's gonna be a hard road to get a lot of the fan base back. I hope Skeleton Crew does some of that goodwill to get some of those fans back, and Andor Season 2. I hope that we do get some successful projects. I don't want Star Wars to die. I really don't. It was something so special to me when I was a kid because I didn't really have a lot of friends, to be completely honest with you, and I moved around a lot as a kid. I was a military brat, so I didn't really get a chance to grow with people, and I got to grow with these magical characters that from a galaxy far, far away. I want to see Star Wars succeed. I want it to be better, but you can't make it better when you're purposely attacking the fan base, you're purposely trying to create animosity, and you're sending your freaking YouTube people out on other people. That's not okay, and nor shall it or will it be okay. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I am a Black Star Wars fan. I will always be a Star Wars fan. And yes, would it be cool to see more black characters in Star Wars? Sure, but that's not the end of the day for me if there's not. We have to understand and respect the ideology of Lucas. While yes, I still don't agree with a lot of his choices. Don't get me wrong. I really don't. Why did you bring back Darth Maul? Yeah, I'm being that topical. I still think we should try to hold those core values. It's something that I've been noticing with a lot of creators of old, that a lot of these new creators are taking their stuff and saying that I did it. And it's like, that's completely erasing the people who worked on this years before you did. You're just here to take a seat that they had won for you. That's it. You're not the creator of these things. You can add things, but please respect the lore, respect the canon. And yes, I know it's hard to respect something that's been so freaking crazy to try to keep up with. I think it's possible and a responsibility for us and for you, Lucasfilm, to try to at least keep those boundaries. We are the ones that are paying for you to entertain us. We don't want to be lectured. We want to be entertained. And while you can have messaging in there, be subtle. It's that easy. So with that being said, may the force be with you. My name is Vaderfly. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please keep your head above water. Please keep your dreams alive. Please subscribe to the channel. Because I would really like that. That would really mean a lot to me. And once again, it's all about hope. And hopefully Lucasfilm doesn't ruin that in the next 5 years. So, alright, bye-bye.